Alright, let's talk about the rational zeros theorem. Let f be a polynomial function of degree 1 or more. F of x equals a sub n times x to the n power plus a sub n minus 1 times x to the n minus 1 power, all the way whittled down to a sub 0, where a sub n, that's your very first coefficient, that's not going to equal 0, and a sub 0, that's your constant at the very end, that also is not going to be 0, and each coefficient is an integer. So here we go. If p over q in lowest terms is a rational zero of f, then p is a factor of a sub 0 and q is a factor of a sub n. Alright, so what does this mean? Well, let's jump right into it. I determine the maximum number of real zeros that each polynomial function may have, then list the potential rational zeros of each polynomial function. Okay, so here we go. Number 4, f of x equals x cubed plus 2x squared minus 15x plus 10. Alright, so first of all, this polynomial function is of degree 3, which means it could have 3 max zeros, right? So max number of zeros is 3. Okay, now the second part of this thing is to find the possible zeros. Alright, so this is what I want you to do. You got to be careful now because we're going to be using two letters, P and Q. Well, we're going to let Q represent the factors of the coefficient on the highest degree. So we've got x cubed over here. The coefficient is 1. So Q equals all the factors of 1. So that would be 1 and negative 1. All right, we're counting positives and negatives. Now the reason why negative 1 is a factor of 1 because negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So the Q's are going to be plus or minus 1. Now the letter P, that's going to represent all the factors of the constant at the very end. All right, and that's going to be your 10 over here. So all of the factors of 10, we're going to use, again, plus or minus. All right, so 1 is a factor of 10, 2 is a factor of 10, 5, and 10. So that's how we're going to start this out. Now, the possible zeros, that's going to be your P over Q. All right, so I'm just going to write that down. Possible zeros. That's going to be your rational numbers, P over Q, and don't forget to reduce, all right? You're going to reduce all your fractions. You're going to write them in lowest terms. So that's going to be, first of all, plus or minus, right? 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 5 over 1, and 10 over 1. Now notice I'm going really slowly for this first example. Always for the first, right? So your possible zeros are actually going to be plus or minus 1, 2, 5, and 10. I know this kind of seems simple for this very first one. That's my intention always, right? We'll get to some more difficult ones in a minute. Alright, so just to recap, number 4, the max amount of zeros is going to be 3, but you potentially have 8 of them. You got 1, 2, 5, 10, also negative 1, negative 2, negative 5, and negative 10. Alright, let's move on to number 5 and 6.